people-centered development paradigm. However, with the existing global framework which values extractivism, how do we mobilize our people to effect change? That's from Ken Henshaw. So you have two questions there, and please, Ika, Hamza, Makoma, whoever shows the video first can just go ahead. Okay, nobody's putting on the, okay. Hamza. Hamza, then we have Ika.
Or maybe Ikal, I don't know. Ikal, do you want to start? I don't mind.
Go on ahead, Hamza.
Sure. Regarding the first question, how fast, or what is it? How quickly do fossil fuels need to decline for the world to remain within the 1.5 C? I think the simple answer is now. So we don't need to start new projects exploring for fossil fuels. Those projects need to not happen. As for the other ongoing projects, I don't know exactly what the science do, but from what I understand is that the ongoing projects need to be phased out in the next 2 to 3 decades. But unfortunately, this is not happening. We see a lot of projects, exploration projects, drilling projects, building pipelines in so many countries, including in our continent. So basically the IPCC says something, the world leaders say something, now they recognize the fact that climate change has become a climate catastrophe, climate chaos. The effects of the climate change is touching Europeans now with floodings, with heat waves, with fires in Greece and Turkey. So now they recognize the fact that the solutions they are proposing go against this. Either they are proposing for solutions or market-based solutions like carbon trading and net zero, or they are continuing exploiting and exploring fossil fuels. So I think world leaders are not listening. So it's down to communities, to organizations on the ground, to climate and environmental activists to exercise more pressure and even maybe direct action to stop those projects. Because at the end of the day, even if those projects end up creating some economic opportunity, those economic opportunities are concentrated in the hands of the few, right? Most of the communities where those resources are extracted do not benefit. So that's my quick answer for that first question. There was a comment about Rwanda, which I thought is a very good one that I think we should tackle, from Celestine, saying, looking at what is happening in Rwanda after a devastating and bloody civil war, is it not time we move forward from these pains of the past and develop new models? I completely agree. We need to imagine new models, create those models on the ground, but this needs power, right? This needs collective power. That's why we need to create those alliances, create links between different sections of the working poor, between working people and peasants, between activists and workers. So this needs to happen to create that mass of power that could really exercise change. I think I'll stop here. Thanks.
Thank you, Aika.
I'll not attempt to get into the first one. That one, I think that's one of the reasons I move away from the climate science to more the socioeconomic aspect. So I'll go to the second one, that for Ken Henshaw. Yes, I agree with you that, the opportunity is now. It is critical for us to look at the opportunities that we have now. I think, again, it goes to, today we talk about socioeconomic, but then we cannot de-link the socioeconomic struggle from the political struggle. As Hamza said, at the end of the day, power. We've got to have power. And I think it's something that as an organization, as a movement on the ground, we're starting to really ask ourselves between the work around empowerment and showing people where the power is. Because empowerment is sort of like a feel-good thing. And then power is really where it is. And so we've got to start to understand that. I think when I first met Nemo, 2000, I think 11, 12 there, was when we were discussing around how the production systems are. And all my comrades who've spoken, Makoma and Hamza have indicated it. The way we produce is really for an export market. It really is market-based. And so just because of that very fragmented system of how we produce, how we trade, is where now the global, the whole globalization and the extractivist nature makes us think that as a continent we cannot survive. I do barter trade to date. I start usually reflect on myself. I do barter trade. I give food and exchange with goats because I am a pastoralist. So, and it's working. I think we've been socialized that we cannot disrupt the systems. And so we are constantly thinking about what the continent can't survive. But if you really look at it, the North cannot survive without the continent, because what leaves the continent is what much, much more than all the FDIs that is claimed to come into this continent. If you look at the conversation, even on, carbon credits and the red, it cannot happen without the global South. Look, if right now it's sitting in the Silicon Valley, but what they're discussing, what they're trading in is in the global South. Our poetry. So as it is, we've got to start to ask ourselves, what exactly do we need? How do we develop an economic model that, as comrades say, it's linked to the social. It is not defined by the political, and really is centered around the people. We know the commons, making sure that it's not the attitude that we've built within the continent, again, here, just right here where I am, and across the globe, is really not in my backyard. So it doesn't matter if it's happening in Nigeria, because it is not in my backyard. So if we move away from that and build the collective that we have, and the collective that we can come together with, and seeing the way people came out to care for each other, to offer a hand during this pandemic, shows that it's not only an opportune time to shift and disrupt the systems, but it is an opportune time to build the humanity that is critical to who we are as a people.
Well, there are a number of other questions and comments are coming. Makoma, please go ahead.